Well, welcome everybody. It's good to see you today. April, thanks for being such a good sport. Little did you know when we hired you that one of our UPC traditions was an Ask Us Anything.
Yeah.
So thanks for being on board, and I have a whole bunch of questions for you.
Awesome.
So one of the questions we've asked every single person is, if you could swim in anything, what would it be?
Yeah, I understand it's not supposed to be water.
Correct.
Can it definitely not be water?
I said pool water, but I'm a big fan of
Okay.
swimming, but everybody
Okay.
else listed like beverages.
Interesting. No, well, I actually grew up spending a lot of time at the lake and the beach, and I really love being around water. Like that's my favorite place to get away. So my answer is probably a lake, but not a cold one. Very specific, yeah.
Very specific, not cold.
No.
Agreed. Good response.
Thank you.
So this one comes from Micah Qualley, and he said, if you could be a guest musician in any band, which band and what would you play?
Yeah, I saw that one, and I've been thinking about it for days. So, okay, I do play piano, but I think that if it could be whatever, I have always had a dream of learning to play the stand-up bass. Yeah, and then I also have a love for the classics and a love for live music. So if you were to ask me what's my favorite kind of music, I would say live music.
Nice.
So something like some really cool location. I love this music festival that goes on in San Francisco every year called Hardly Strictly Bluegrass. And of course it's not happening this year, and I'm sad not to be there, but to be a guest at one of those shows would be amazing. Last year I saw the lead singer of Led Zeppelin. His name is Robert Plant, and that was a wonderful, lovely moment. So if I could be on that stage, that would be cool.
That is such a good answer. Okay, you probably saw Micah's other question. If you could be an extra in any movie, what movie?
Oh no, I didn't see that question. Oh no, this is happening live. An extra in any movie? Okay. Oh, The Shape of Water, directed by Guillermo del Toro, is like one of the most beautiful movies, newer movies I've seen in the last 5 years. So
Nice.
Probably that one.
Thanks. That was good. What's the craziest thing you've done during COVID?
Oh, probably remodeling my kitchen. It's been a little dicey. Yeah.
I can imagine. And your kitchen's mostly back together?
Mostly. Still no stove oven, but it's kind of hot right now, so that hasn't...
You wouldn't be using it anyway.
Right,
yes.
right.
Describe your perfect day.
Okay. I have a great book. I'm sitting near a body of water. Part of the time is alone, part of the time is with good friends, really good food, somewhere beautiful scenery, music that somehow goes along with the theme. I like themes. I want my music to match what book I'm reading.
That sounds lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely. Why did you want to be a pastor?
Yes, that took a while. And it started off not so much as why I want to be a pastor, as it was why I can't help doing this, even though I'm not trying to. There's so many things about being a pastor that are natural to me and that I love, and that there's no other place that I could do this where it could be my vocation. That it would matter that I'm connected to God, that I could share in those spaces with other people, connecting to people, helping people connect to each other. I get to engage my nerdy academic side by reading boring historical information and then making it interesting. And then throwing parties, which is a part of it somehow. There's just so many awesome things that get thrown into this work.
Yeah, and you are also a pastor over at Woven. So do you want to share a little bit about what Woven is and how you've been connected there and what you're doing?
Yeah, so Woven Community is a church plant and new worshiping community within this presbytery. We are entering our 7th year, which is pretty crazy. I have been working at Woven most of the time that it's existed, but my position has changed throughout the years. Woven is a pretty small church, but it's a really beautiful community, a community of people who wanted to be together and be connected to God, and especially maybe after having some difficult experiences with the church or with their experiences with the Bible or people of faith. And so there's a lot of intentional work we do there about being creative with connecting with each other and with God and being the church in new ways. And I've really enjoyed getting to do that sort of like deep pastoral care and also get to try new things.
That's great. Yeah. People may or may not know this about you, but you are also an artist. So what mediums do you like, and are you working on anything currently?
So primarily I'm a visual artist, and I paint. I started off exploring oil painting, but then I sort of transitioned into using some more like fluid types of paint, and mainly, at this point I would say mainly acrylic, but then I started experimenting with latex, and I like doing like big, playful, abstract things. I have not been painting a lot in the last few years. While I was in seminary, I decided to set a lot of things aside to make space for that, and I'm really excited to have more time to engage with the arts. But I will say also that being an artist shapes how I do ministry, how I think about what's happening on Sunday mornings, how we connect to each other. And I also have other ways that I express my creative side, like through what I'm doing, the home remodel stuff. That's super fun for me.
That's my nightmare, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm just like all over it, yeah. Themed outfits, which also fits pastoral roles, by the way.
Yes, we have good outfits.
We do, they're really cool. So yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting to see how that sort of works into my life here at UPC.
Yeah, definitely. What are 3 things you always have with you besides, like, you know, phone and keys and wallet?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty important to me to have some pathway to playing music. Like it's on your phone these days, but like if I'm going somewhere where I think there might not be a good speaker, like I might bring a speaker, I want to have a good way that I can listen to music. It's urgent and it's important to me. Usually like 6 to 8 lipsticks. I don't know, that just happens, and I like the choices. And not so much lately, but often I will have a book with me. Like I'm not even always reading it. It's like I just in case.
With the idea, yeah.
It's the idea of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Nice. We had one question come in asking if you were a baseball fan, and if so, what team?
I'm not a baseball fan. However, my dad is from the LA area.
Oh.
And so I really grew up with a lot of Dodgers games happening in my background of my life. And so the sound of Vin Scully's voice is like burned in my brain. But yeah. I like going to a Grizzly game.
Nice, nice. Nobody can fault you for that.
Yeah.
I've heard you say that you love Fresno and you've chosen to be here intentionally. Can you say more about what you love about Fresno?
Yeah, I feel like Fresno is simultaneously both a small town and a big city. So it's small enough that when you meet someone new, there might be a likelihood that they know someone that you know, and you can just develop these connections, and that you can get involved in important things that are happening in town. And I like being involved and knowing the people that are doing the things and going to the meetings and getting to be a part of it. But at the same time, we're big enough to have resources to have music festivals and art hop and good restaurants. And I love being able to have access to those things too.
Yes, especially now, we're appreciating those.
Yes, yeah.
What excites you about being on staff at UPC?
I think one of the biggest things I felt before I came on was really the excitement of getting to meet more people, be involved with the spiritual formation of more people in Fresno, getting to figure out how in this community God is working and really create ways to deepen that and widen that.
Yeah, I've so enjoyed the perspective and the creativity you've brought to things. It's a neat team to be a part of, so I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
And what a funny season to get to know people and be introduced. And you know, we're trying to navigate that in a couple of different ways, like things like this. But what's a good way for somebody to reach out and connect with you?
Yeah, it's a little weird, but you are so welcome to email me. I really like people, so I don't find that weird. But seriously, April at upcfresno.org. Right, I know my own email. Another way, tiny plug, I will be leading the discussion group for Conversations for the Common Good. There's some other leaders who are also on board, who are members here at UPC. But yeah, I invite you to come into that space and be a part of the discussion, and we can get to know each other that way.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being willing to be a willing guinea pig today, and thanks for all of you to watching and helping offer such a wide welcome to April and Amanda as we're settling in. It's a joy to be together, and we love you and we miss you. Can't wait to see you soon. Bye, everybody.